Drumming News Network, your one-stop for drumming news.
Welcome to the Drumming News Network podcast. I'm your host, Paul the Rog Rogney. And in this episode, we cover the most popular news posted from October 3rd through October 9th. Please make sure to visit the stories posted in this episode by searching on our website or by following the links in our show notes. And make sure to visit the Drumming News Network daily to keep up on all the drumming news. So with that, let's get into it. Modern Drummer magazine today announced an exclusive distribution partnership with Yurt Rock, a widely recognized producer of loops, samples, and more, featuring the world's leading musicians. As part of this exciting collaboration, Yurt Rock will be releasing a series of custom drum libraries from Modern Drummer's digital catalog. The first release planned will be Todd Sucherman, More Than Sticks Volume 1, on October 3rd. New releases will keep coming with libraries featuring Brian Fraser Moore and Jim Riley becoming available later this year. Modern Drummer owner and CEO David Frangione shared his thoughts on the partnership. Yurt Rock has quickly established itself as a premier destination for music production content. I'm thrilled to be partnering with them to provide an extensive catalog of quality loops and samples to music creators around the world. Yurt Rock was founded in 2021 by drummer and entrepreneur Ryan Gruss to produce and distribute loop and sample content. The loops and samples feature the world's greatest musicians, including Clyde Stubblefield, Daru Jones, and Antonio Sanchez. Ryan previously founded the Loop Loft, which was acquired by Native Instruments in 2018.
Hi, I'm Todd Sucherman, and I wanted to thank you for checking out my More Than Sticks Volume 1 Loop and Sample Library, produced in collaboration with Modern Drummer magazine. This release features over 1 gig of high-quality 24-bit 48K audio, covering everything from shuffles, rock beats, ballads, funk grooves, reggae, cinematic soundscapes, brushes, and even train beats. Download this royalty-free pack today from yurtrock.com and get instant access to hundreds of crystalline samples and grooves. Just drag and drop into your favorite digital audio workstation and enjoy.
Battery Magazine, number 195, features Jay Weinberg. Jay Weinberg inherited the talent of his father, Max Weinberg, drummer of Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, whom he replaced on stage several times from the age of 18, long before he suspected that one day he would join his favorite band, Slipknot. At 32, Jay is one of the most adored drummers of his generation. His incredible technique, his showmanship, and his keen sense of communication have allowed him to build up an army of faithful followers, a phenomenon that is reminiscent of the wave caused by a certain Joy Jordison 20 years earlier. In this issue, they also cover the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. On September 3rd, all of rock's greatest gathered at Wembley Stadium in London to pay tribute to the Foo Fighters drummer who died on March 25th at the age of 50. An evening that was brilliantly orchestrated by keen-hearted Dave Grohl, who was determined to celebrate the legacy of the man he considered his brother. Battery was there, and they will tell you about it. One more note about Jay Weinberg. Recently, he restocked his store of drum heads and drumsticks that are signed by him. The prices for the heads and sticks are very affordable, and they're a great addition to any collection or for anybody who's collecting autographs of their favorite drummers. So make sure to check that out at jweinbergofficial.com. And next we have a Taylor Hawkins tribute concert overview. This was written by Alex Kluft from Modern Drummer. The world lost one of the great drummers and a member of the most important and biggest rock band of all time, Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters. To honor Hawkins, Dave Grohl put together 2 of the biggest tribute concerts of all time, which were announced back in June. As the shows got closer, the lineups got bigger and bigger. The first concert took place at Wembley Stadium in London, England, on September 3rd. It was the perfect place to hold the first concert since Taylor was an international giant of drumming, and the Foo Fighters played there in 2008 in a memorable reuniting of Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones. The next tribute show took place on September 27th at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, California, as Taylor's hometown tribute. The Foo Fighters and many of the other bands have played at the Forum over the years, including the Foo Fighters' Broken Leg Tour, Echoes, Silence, Patience, and Grace Tour, and of course, Dave Grohl's 45th birthday bash. It is a special venue. When Rush played their final show of the R40 tour there, Taylor Hawkins was there with Chad Smith, Stuart Copeland, and Danny Carey. The Foo Fighters' August 21st, 2021 performance at the Forum would be their last major hometown show with Hawkins. The hometown tribute brought together several of the world's greatest drummers: Queen's Roger Taylor, The Police's Stuart Copeland, Omar Hakim, Tool's Danny Carey, Red Hot Chili Peppers' Chad Smith, Motley Crue's Tommy Lee, Rage Against the Machine's Brad Wilk, Blink-182's Travis Barker, Metallica's Lars Ulrich, Weezer's Patrick Wilson, and The Darkness's Rufus Taylor. Many of the guest drummers played either Grohl's or Hawkins' final tour kits. Some, including Ulrich, Copeland, Taylor, and Hakim, had their own drums brought in just for the show. The show started at 7 p.m. and ended at 1 a.m. It included 53 songs from artists that Hawkins had played, Taylor's own bands, his favorite bands, and, of course, the Foo Fighters. The show began with no introduction or countdown. The opening performance of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah came from Grohl's daughter, Violet, and guitarist Elaine Johannes. The performances continued with Joan Jett with the Foo Fighters and Hawkins' band Chevy Metal, and the Coattail Riders. Then came James Gang, Mark Ronson, them Cricket Vultures, Wolfgang Van Halen, and the Darkness's Justin Hawkins. Members of Def Leppard and Foo Fighters played with Weezer's Patrick Wilson, and the memorable tributes and collaborations just kept coming. Tommy Lee with Nikki Sixx, Foo Fighters with Queen of the Stone Age's Josh Homme, and the Cars' Elliot Easton, Pink and Nancy Wilson, Stuart Copeland, and the Foo Fighters, Alanis Morissette and the Foo Fighters, Sebastian Bach, Geezer Butler, Lars Ulrich, and the Foo Fighters, Russia's Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson's performance with drummer Dave Grohl, Chad Smith, and Danny Carey, Chris Novoselic, Taylor Momsen, Pat Smear, Matt Cameron, and Kim Thayil performed together, as did members of Queen and the Foo Fighters. The night concluded with an hour-long Foo Fighters set with 10 different guest drummers, including Josh Freese, John Theodore, Travis Barker, Matt Cameron, Brad Wilk, Patrick Wilson, Omar Hakim, Rufus Taylor, and Shane Hawkins. Comedian Dave Chappelle joined for Creep. The final performance of the night was the song Everlong with Chad Smith playing drums. Unfortunately, many of the performers at the concert had also lost cherished band members and friends. The result was a Taylor Hawkins tribute concert paid tribute to so many musical icons. Rush's Neil Peart, Yes's Alan White, Queen's Freddie Mercury, Eddie Van Halen, and Led Zeppelin's John Bonham were all Taylor Hawkins' musical idols, and they are all remembered in the outstanding tribute concert and celebration of the brotherhood and sisterhood of rock and roll. This concert was not only a tribute to Taylor and a remembrance of several recently departed musician legends, but it was also a benefit to two charities, Music Support and Music Cares. On the story that we posted all the songs and which artists were playing on the songs. Many of these songs are posted on YouTube, not professionally filmed. These are a lot of cell phone recordings. It was streamed, so I'm assuming that in the future it'll come out as some kind of, DVD or something. I haven't heard anything about that yet, and there might be news on it, but I just haven't heard anything about it. It was a very cool musical moment that was very special. One standout was Wolfgang Van Halen. I think everybody was floored when they heard him play just like his father, Eddie Van Halen. So if you go to YouTube, search under Wolfgang performance at Taylor Hawkins tribute concert, and they did Hot for Teacher, Panama. Oh goodness, there's another song they're playing that I forgot and I love. I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but make sure to check it out. It is just amazing. I guess the cool standout of Wolfgang's performance was he didn't play with just notes. He played with the feel that his father had. It's kind of like where he placed the notes. He obviously learned how to play the parts from his dad, Eddie Van Halen, but more importantly, he had the feel, a natural feel that could only be inherited from Eddie himself. So check it out. And again, I was just completely blown away by how he approached the guitar solos. It's very, very cool. And Josh Freese was the drummer for these sets and just did a phenomenal job. ORK, featuring Pat Mastelotto, due for release on October 21st. The new album from ex-Porcupine Tree bassist Colin Edwin, award-winning composer vocalist Lef, King Crimson's Pat Mastelotto, and Marta Sutubi's Carmela Pipitone, due for release on October 21st, 2021 on Keyscope. The expansive and emotive Screamnasium is ORK's most essential album to date. Spontaneous yet intricately crafted, and perhaps the most concise statement of the band's sonic aims yet. With the quartet having formed a strong creative bond over the course of 3 previous studio albums, and with countless miles clocked up on tour, the highly anticipated follow-up to 2019's acclaimed Ramage Head has finally arrived. The pent-up, derailed energies of ORK have found a release with their gutsy, cathartic, and striking new album, Screamnasium. Setting the pace, lead single and album opener As I Leave delivers a distilled form of ORK's spirit directly to their listener. Left's powerful vocals, Carmelo Pipitone's energetic riffing, Pat Mastelotto's inventive rhythmic accompaniments, and Colin Edwin's distinctive bass tones all infuse Screamnasium with refreshed intensity and new luminosity. Energy levels are maintained throughout the 42-minute runtime as ORK state the case for optimism, tolerance, and empathy. Energy levels are maintained throughout the 42-minute runtime as ORK state the case for optimism, tolerance, and empathy. These are hopeful anthems for an increasingly uncertain world. Again, this record comes out on October 21st of this year. It's offered in a limited edition green-colored vinyl LP, black vinyl LP, digital offerings, as well as a CD, and I think those are all the forms. Please make sure to visit patmastelotto.com for more information on his career. He's got so many things going on right now. It's amazing. He's a very busy and in-demand drummer. He's got many amazing releases on his website that are for sale. Please check him out. And I'm excited to say I'm kind of dropping a little bit of a bomb right here, but the Drumming News Network is releasing a series of drumming cards that'll be coming out soon. We'll be talking with Pat about it, but he is one of the artists featured on our new trading card. And we'll tell you how you can get a hold of those very soon as well. But again, go to patmastelotto.com, buy this CD, and for your listening pleasure, I'm going to be playing the song As I Leave.
Could you not see me in the fading light? Walking in the fading light. Watch out, watch now. No doubts, leave after me. Did your dreams go? As I fall, tell me not to sleep. Watch me as I bleed. The summer breeze will scream. Save me now, but let me disappear. Let me disappear. Let me disappear. Could you not live a lie? Get out now while you're still alive. Walk out, watch out. Watch out, walk out. Did your dreams go? As I fall, tell me not to sleep. Watch me as I bleed. The summer breeze will scream. Save me now, but let me disappear. Dreams get old. Are my chances blown? Did your dreams get old? As I fall, tell me not to sleep. Watch me as I bleed.
And finally, October 22nd issue, volume 46, issue of Modern Drummer features producer-drummer Butch Vig. Drummer, producer, and innovator Butch Vig talks to Mark Griffith about playing drums in garbage, his involvement in developing the new Roland V drums, his production style behind records by Killdozer, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, and the Foo Fighters. He also talks about his new side project, 5 Billion in Diamonds, and Emperors of Wyoming. Wow. Roland Artist Relations and Channel Strategy team members Igor Len and James Petershak also joined the Roland conversation for added insight into the new generation of electronic drums and drumming. You can download the October 2022 issue by going to moderndrummer.com. Of course, you have to subscribe. The flip book experience is not currently available in their mobile app, but can be seen through any browser. Please go to moderndrummer.com to get your issue today. One more thing I want to mention about Butch Vig, which is kind of cool, is I'm going to get part of the story wrong, but I'm going to interview a drummer that I know, David Stanek, who is a phenomenal drummer, teacher, and he had a very popular band a number of years ago and worked with Butch Vig. And what Butch used to do is record all the new bands that were coming through Wisconsin. Dave's band was one of the bands that were recorded, and that's one of the things that helped Butch get the gigs with Nirvana and many other bands. So it was very cool to be able to record these bands when they came to town for no charge, and that's how I got to meet a lot of these people. So doing free work is not always bad, just to throw it out there. And this concludes our episode. My apologies for my rough voice. I'm in the midst of a cold. Hopefully I'll be over it soon. Please continue to follow Drumming News Network by visiting our site daily to find out all the latest news in drumming. And please feel free to reach out to us at contact@drummingnewsnetwork.com for any ideas, feedback, and I guess potentially any stories that you think we should be covering and any drummers you think we should be covering. One additional note, I know this episode was pretty short, and they've been really short recently, and I don't want to make them too long because I want them to be kind of quick updates. And again, they're only the highlights of the most interesting stories to people throughout the week. I've started doing interviews, and you'll be able to hear snippets of those coming up soon and be able to view the complete interview on our YouTube page soon. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode, and I look forward to talking to you next week. So until then, keep drumming.
The Drumming News Network is a daily news site focusing on the interests of drummers with new product release information, artist updates, and much more. In essence, all things drums, keeping even the busiest of people up to date. This has been a production of the Drumming News Network. All rights reserved. All media is owned by the respective parties. This episode cannot be distributed or copied in any form. Please visit drummingnewsnetwork.com daily to keep up on all the latest drumming news. Copyright 2022.